YouTube. In this video we are going to see how to create a random codes generator. This is not just a random code generator, we have so many things in it. So to follow along, I have left the source code in the description. Fine, now just look the features which is available. Now if you see, this is the codes and this is the author. So if I click on new code, you can see the new code has appeared, along with, if you have noticed earlier, the length of the code was too big, that's why the font size was small. Now if you see, the code's size is small, so the font size is comparatively big. So this is getting dynamic. Now if you notice, let me click again. Now the text, the length of the text is large, big. So if you see, the length of the text is big, so what I did is I have made the font size small. Now let's check this. If you notice, this is big font. It is because the words are less. Not only that, if you wish to share this code to the Twitter, you can do it. If you click on this Twitter link, it will log into your Twitter link and it will make it as a status of your Twitter. Much wisdom often. The same way, let me refresh. If you want to make this as your Twitter status, you can see this is the codes which is now your Twitter status. If you wish to tweet, you can do it. Now we are going to use some APIs here. So the API which we are going to cover does not require API key. Now let's look what we can do from scratch. Fine, now I'm going to open a folder. Let me create a folder first on the desktop. Random codes generator. So let me open this. So we will be starting it from scratch. That means we would be writing HTML, we would be writing CSS, we would be writing JS. If you wish to fast forward, the YouTube has always add the option fast forward. You can make it fast forward, or you can keep the HTML CSS part and directly meet at the JavaScript part. So I would be starting it from scratch. So let me create a file, index.html, and I need a style.css and script.js. Now we are going to use bootstrap template. You notice this is the bootstrap button. So let me get the bootstrap template from template school. And grab the font also. Just get the template, copy it, paste it. It is a body part which we don't need. This is HTML. Now let's link our style.css and then link our script. Script.js. Then we need a font awesome CDN. Let me get the font awesome CDN, and we will be using a font called Google Font Oswald. Let me take that as well. Let's search for codes, which is what we need. And if you see, let's get CDN. On the head tag, you can get the CDN. Just paste it anywhere as you wish. Now the font also is ready. Oswald font. So select the style, get this on the header, and let's use this on our style sheet. For every element, I want the font family to be Oswald. Fine. If you see, let's open our file on the Chrome, which is blank at present. Let's style the HTML code container, and then if you see, we have code text, and if you again code text, we have a font awesome icon. Then we'll have a span with ID, span text, so let's add some lorem ipsum 20 words for break alt Z, and then we have completed the code, and then we need a author name as a class as well as a ID. So let's add this name. Since here we make use of text center and margin top and bottom too. So let's design this. Just after that, let's have our button container. Inside button container, we would require a font awesome icon, which I should have got it, and I'm copying it, pasting it over here. So let's have a link tag with class, let's say ID, and inside the anchor tag we'll paste the, and after that we'll have a button with ID, new quote, and since we are in Bootstrap, we can use the Bootstrap class. Which is btn primary, and let me name it as new quote. Fine, we are somewhat close. Now let's design the style sheet. For body, let me remove the margin, let me remove the padding, display, flex, justify content, center, align item, center. So this should come in the center. So to make it vertically center, we have to keep the height. Fine. Now inside, let's work on the code text class. Let me give the font size as 2EREM, which is 32 pixel, and before that I have to give the width to the container. Width as 900 pixel, which is max width. I'm sorry for the break. Fine. Now if you see, our design is almost ready. Now we just have to work on the API. Control 0. Let's make this a bit smaller so that you can see. Now let's work on the console. S is not defined on line number 1. I think I have misplaced S. Now what we are going to do is we are going to get all the IDs. Document dot get element by ID. We have container, we have text, we have author, we have buttons, we have anchor tag. Let's start with container, and then we have text, and then we have span text. We'll use a span text, and then we have author name, and then we have Twitter shareable link, and then we have new code link. The very first thing is we are going to get codes, random codes from this API. So the specialty or the feature of this API is you don't have to sign in to get the API key. So let's test it. Get code, it will auto call. Let me define this. And here this function is going to be async. The reason for async is we are going to use fetch function, and that will have URL for codes, and since this, I'm going to store it into a variable called response. So let's define this URL, and this is what I'm pasting it. I'll leave it in the description to follow. So from this what do you say, from this URL you're going to get a codes, and that codes you're going to get with the help of fetch API. Since you are using since you are getting the value from an URL, it might take some time. So for that what we'll do is, so when the function runs, the URL will take some time to fetch the data and give it to the response. So by that time what JavaScript will do is JavaScript will make this variable as undefined, because it will take some time to load the codes from this link. So to avoid that, we use await function. What it does is it waits, this await function waits till the data received from this URL, and once it is received, then it will give it to this. So after that we are going to convert this to JSON format, and we'll store it into a variable called data. So if I console and show you, console.log, let's refresh, we see the data. And since we are not on the local host, or we are not using any server, what happens is it is giving an error called CORS policy. To bypass the CORS policy, what we have to do is we have to create a proxy server. We have to use a proxy server. So that is again going to be a link. So before, you need to pass the proxy server and the URL. Now we will get it. And again you have to write await here, the same I have explained. Let's see, I think we have not used slash. And the data is received. So whenever you are using fetch, it is recommended to use try and catch block. It's not a function, it's try and catch. If there is any error, we'll display the error console.log error found and show the error. And if I refresh, sometimes in some case we should get the error. So if you see, we got the error found, syntax error. So this is not our error, it is the error from the API. So to bypass that, what we have to do is we have to call this. We don't want to stop it at the if we find the error, then we want to run again this function so that we can get the codes. So if you see, even if we get error, it will again run the code and you get you the codes. The speciality of catch. So fine. Now in the data we need to get the codes and the author name. So if I refresh, we should see the codes and author name. So let me define the data so that we can check. Fine, these things are working. Now we'll fetch these data and display it on the relevant divs. Dot inner text equal to, this is code, and then we have author name dot inner text equal to data dot author name. So if I refresh, you should see the data here. The greatest pleasure, you can see all the names and the codes are available. This is author name and this is codes. If you want, I can zoom in. Control O. So if you see, there is a little fluctuation. It is because of this already data available. So if you see, now we have designed, we have fetched the code and displayed console. We have used proxy server to avoid cores. If the author is blank, we want to add the unknown. Let's see when does the case occurs. The author is there. Whenever the author is blank, we have to add the text unknown. Here on the JavaScript, if it is blank, then we want the data to be unknown. Else show the, let's check some more time whether we are getting code unknown or not. So to our luck, we are not getting any unknown. Fine. Now auto font based on the large code. So here if you see, if this value, if dot length is less than 15, then on the span class list dot add. If it is less than 60, that means it is small. If it is greater than 60, then it is large. So here we have to remove, and here we have to add the class over here and remove the class over here. So let's see. It is getting opposite. I think we have made I'm refreshing with the help of F5. I think there is a JavaScript error loading up. Error. We have got error. Fine. So if the text is small, if the size of the text is small, that means the words are less, then what I made is I made the font size bigger. So here if you see, the words are too big, the words are too big, so for that the font size is small. I hope you got it what I meant to say. The text is so much, so the font size is small. The text is the word is small, the words are less, comparatively the font size is big. Fine. Now let's work on this new code. So when I click on the new code button, so this is the button dot add event listener. When I click on it, I want this function to get executed, and the same way when I click on the Twitter link, again we are going to use an API. Tweet codes. Let's create this function. So what this function will do is, we'll get the Twitter link. So tweet. So this is an URL backtick, and here we need to add text equal to, here the quotes, then the author name. So the quotes we can get it with the help of inner text, span text, which is the quotes, and then we have author name. Fine. If you notice, this is a URL. We want to trigger the URL. Window dot open. We want to open the URL. This on blank underscore blank. So let's try. If I click new code, we should get new code. You see, each time I click, getting the new code. If I click on the Twitter link, it will get me to the Twitter page, and it should take this codes and author name as a tweet. New code. Let me tweet this. Correction does not. I think we have. Let me click again. There are two failures, just experience and your reaction to them. Click on it. We should get what. Yeah. Actually, what is happening is After tweet, the get code is getting also called. Let me see why. Let's see why it is causing these errors. Let's put this here. When I click on the new code, I should get this. When I click on the Twitter link, I should get tweet. But what actually is happening is, let me close all this. If I click on Twitter link, this page is getting refreshed. We have to look why. So it is getting refreshed, that's why the code has changed. So something is causing a reload. When I click on the link, I think I have not given hash. Let's try again. Click here. Okay, let's try. I think now it is working fine. Refresh it. Life is what happens while you are making other plan. Click on it. You should get life is what. Yes, life is what happens while. This you can see John Lennon. So that is working. Now if you click on new code, it is, we need to add the loader. So let's work on the loader. Add code as status it done. Click on new, get the new code done. Show loader while loading. So the design is available on the tool. We simply have it. We just need this style sheet. So styles, just paste it, and then we have a div. We will just have this. We'll also add id equal to loader. So we'll call this on the script. So if you see, the loader would be available. I have not saved it, you can see. Let me save it and refresh it. You should see the loader. What is, with the help of JavaScript, get the loader element and make the hidden equal to true. If you refresh, it is hidden now. So we want two case on function loading and function complete. This is very easy. You just have to understand, when it is loading, I want the loader to show up and the container to get hide. The same way, when it is completed, I want the container to show and the loader to get hide. So this will happen when you click on the button. So this will happen when the data is fetched, the codes is fetched from an API and it is been inserted on the codes div. So here, so let's try. Let me click new, and I think we have completed. That's all for this video. Get the source in the description. So if you wish, we can design as well. So let me show you the design as a bonus point. So let's get into the container. Code container, background white, 1 pixel solid, black, hard refresh. We are not getting the style. Let me see why. Hash hard refresh. Yes, we got it. So let's add some padding. 5 pixels. So we'll add a background image. Let's choose a background picture, background. We'll give this image, we'll give this to the body, get into the body, background image URL. You just have to pass the URL. It's still loading. If you see, I think this would be nice. Click on it, get the URL and paste it inside. And now if you see, we can make the background size as cover. Let's see how does it happens when we add contain. What does it looks to? Background size, width 100% and height 100%. Fine. Now if you wish, get in the, let's add the opacity 0.5. I think cone is missing. 0.9. So let's design this. Let's add some more padding, 15 pixel. If we can add a box shadow. X-axis, Y-axis, blur, color. You can see there is some border over here. So if you want, you can change the color of the text. So let's check what color is here. Yep, this works good. This looks good. So our target is completed. If you click on new codes, you are going to get new codes every time. And while showing the new codes, you can see the loader getting loaded. And again, if you want, the universe is made of stories, not atom. If you click here, the universe is not made of story. Atom codes will be available for the tweet. Author name. Fine. Now that's it.